This is the report page we are going to create, and as you can see, this report page, you can select an year and see and try to compare that year versus all the other years. I mean, usually we can do a day over day, month over month, year over year comparisons, right? But here in this case, this is some kind of a unique requirement where you want to compare one period versus other periods in your data. Let us go. This is the report page, and let us try to start building the report. And this is a slicer where the year is coming from the calendar table, and there is a table visual here where you have your issue subcategory and number of complaints. And there is also a clustered bar chart where you have x-axis issue type and number of complaints. Now, if you click on any, make any selections on the slicer, obviously those three visuals, there is a card visual also on the right, all those three will be interactive. By default, this is a functionality. You could go to format, edit interaction. Let us try to disable the three visuals interaction, right? We don't want the slicer to filter the values in those three visuals, including the card visual. So now that that is out of the way, let us try to go back and start building our measures. Like I said, we want to compare one year versus another year. And if you click on any selections on the year, obviously the three visuals will not filter out. So we have disabled that. So let us try to create the first measure. There are few measures which we have to create. So let us start by building the first, creating the first measure. And the measure, let us try to name that as complaints other years. Close the parenthesis, equal to. Let us try to use the SUMX function, which is an iterator function. And for the SUMX function, it expects a table. Let us try to use the filter function here. And for the filter function, let us use the calendar table. Let us try to use all around that calendar table. And for the expression, for the filter, we will try to say that, hey, calendar table year not equal to selected value calendar table year, because we have a slicer up there, right? So we want that condition to be checked. So if the calendar table year is not equal to selected value calendar table year, that is a filter expression. And let us try to close the parenthesis for the filter. And we are going to feed this table. Obviously, filter will spit out a table, right? So we will try to feed this table to the SUMX, because SUMX expects a table, right? And for the expression, we want to use the number of complaints. It's a very simple measure. So SUMX, this is the table, and that is the expression. So we have our first measure ready. So we are going to get complaints other years. Okay, because we want to compare one year versus another year, right? So let us try to create another measure. We go to the measures table, right click and create the measure. The second measure will be, we will try to create a rank. So what we'll do is we'll try to use a RANKX function, and let us try to name that as RANKX other years. So for the RANKX expression, we will pass that complaints other years, right? We have just created that measure. So let me name it as RANKX other years equal to RANKX. Again, this is an iterator function. And for the RANKX, it expects a table as a first parameter. So let us use all selected over our subcategory, issue subcategory column from the main table. Close the parenthesis. And like I said, we could use the expression. In this case, we have just created a measure. So let us try to add that measure here, complaints other years, and close the parenthesis. And you have your rank for the issue subcategory, right? This message is also ready. That is the table, and this is the expression for the RANKX function. Commit to it, and we have two measures, right? We'll quickly create a couple of measures and try to review any other measures. I think total we have to create 3 measures. This is another measure, issue subcategory. So here for the expression, I've passed the number of complaints. So it's the same thing, and we have used all around the issue subcategory column, the table, right? So that is also done. And the third measure is we have used RANKX other years. So that is what we have just created. And what we have to do is let us try to go back and see the report page, let us try to drag the measures which we have created. Let me drag that RANKX here and reorder that and push it there. And RANKX issue subcategory is also shown here. So what we could do is we can sort that from ascending, so that you have the first rank up there. So looks like on-call bulky items are the number one for all years. And if you see, there is one in the total, so there is a way we can get rid of that one. So what we have to do is I've just created a variable for top items, the same code we have just created, but in the return statement I've used if in scope. If this issue subcategory is in scope, then give me top items, otherwise don't give me. So it's give me blank. So that way you get rid of that one in the total. Perfect. And also we have just created so many measures over the period of time, right? We have been using the same data set. So you could go to model view and try to create folders in the measures table, right? So that way we have measures sitting in different folders. It will be easy for you to look up if you want to refer to any kind of measure at a future date. So it's always a good idea to create folders. You can also create subfolders within the folders too. So like I'm showing you, you can create the folder name and try to drag the measures you think are appropriate in that particular folder. For example, we are creating this selected year versus other years, right? So I'm just trying to drag those three measures into this selected year versus others folder. That way your measures table also looks cleaner, and it's pretty easy. In case if someone else is also using this, they'll easily understand where the measures are and which folder they belong to. So I've just created all the other folders for all the other measures. So that way it is much cleaner, and we have taken care of that part. The next is we have to create another measure, and this measure, like I said, we have to create like 7 measures, including conditional formatting. So what I'm trying to create now is selected year complaints. Selected year complaints, we can use the calculate function. And for the calculate function, the expression would be number of complaints. And we have the calendar table here, right? So what we could do is for the filter expression, we can say that, hey, calendar table year equal to selected value calendar table year. If this is the case, then give me those number of complaints, right? So this measure will be helpful, and we'll use it in a card visual too. So let us try to close the parenthesis, and we have the measure ready here. So we have created another measure. And what I've done is, to save time, I've created the report page. I've added those table visuals there, and also a couple of card visuals up there. So let us try to go step by step and look at the measures. So this is the measure which we have already created earlier. And let me just look at some of the measures. Say, for example, this also we have done in the recently. So we have created this measure too. And another measure also is there, RANKX selected year. So this is also pretty easy to understand. Code is very simple. And the other one is we have created conditional formatting. So I've just created this conditional formatting, and I've also used selected year complaints, like we have just seen the code here. And also this is the conditional formatting. So I just wanted for the look and feel, right, for the table visuals. So that way the user, when they're working on this report page, they will know even on the title of that particular table, you can see what is the year selected, and if not, what are the other years. So that way it will be much clearer, and for you to look at the table title, also you will know what is the years selected up in the slicer. So that's pretty good. And these are the various values which have passed to those visuals. So those are the 2 cards visuals. And also this is the table visual, issue subcategory, RANKX, and selected year. And also the same thing in the bottom. I've added different values here. So RANKX other years. So that way we have 2 table visuals on the right. And if any selections are made, like shown here, we have already disabled for those 3 card visuals. And we have made sure that those the right table visuals are filtered whenever user selects the year. So it could be year, month, or quarter, depending on your needs. You can use any kind of period. I'm just using year, so that way we have comparison. So when you make that click on that, those things also will change. Another thing we have to keep in mind is sometimes, like as shown here in that bar chart, we have used issue type instead of issue subcategory, right? So even though the title says that, but the value is different. So let me just try to go ahead and fix it. It is not fixed, and we have the correct values for all the visuals. So the left two visuals will not filter out when the user selects the year. That is exactly what we have done using the format and edit interactions. Whereas if user selects any year, for in this case 2025, those two visuals and also two card visuals are changing based on the user selection. So that way, quickly you can compare one year versus another year. So this is a pretty nice way to look at the data. And in case if your need requires you to compare one year or one period one versus another period, you could do this way. I'm sure there are several methods where you can compare one year versus another year, different methods to achieve the same result. But this is a simpler method, I thought, and we could quickly create a few measures and build this report page. So hopefully this will help you in comparing one period versus another period. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.